One of the most memorable moments for me was the coin flip when the prize is going to be $5 million.
Yeah.
And then he brings out another $5 million if you flip the coin and guessed correctly.
I hope you know, like those are real US dollars. This isn't fake money. So he wheeled in another literally $10 million in cash sitting there. And kind of when he opened the coin, there was zero chance I was going to do it. I'm like, it's just not worth it to get this far and lose over a coin flip. I was never the best kind of in Vegas, betting, playing blackjack or roulette. And I'm like, I'm not going to come out of retirement and flip a coin. But I look over at Gage, and Gage became a good friend of mine. He's got these kind of beautiful blue eyes, and you see them sparkling. You see this grin that I've never seen. I'm like, Gage wants to do this. Gage really wants to do this. And Gage is so talented and kind of stepping into his own. I'm like, if he wants to do this, I want to make sure he does it. So I go over there and kind of chat with him, and I feel it. He wants to do it. And after kind of a little back and forth with him and Tawana, he reaches out, puts his hand on it. And what Jimmy said is the first person to touch this has to flip it. So there's no takebacks. And you could just see it in his eyes. He was feeling it. And he, back in the cubes, he flipped to stay in the game, tails. And so he holds it up and goes, I'm feeling tails again. And one of my favorite edits of the whole entire show is the coin flip, and you see the kind of the sand going through it. And then they pan back and they show Emma's face, then Tawana's face. And they are in total game mode, focused. And then I'm sitting here with my eyes half open with a little smirk because I'm just feeling so good for Gage. And he flips it and you hear the coin rattling and my eyes are still closed. And I hear Jimmy kind of sounding devastated, ah. And I'm going, oh no, we didn't get it. And then it hits me. This is Jimmy's money. He is pissed because he just lost $5 million. I look at it and I'm like, and I got goosebumps thinking about it. It was tails. We literally in a split second went from 5 million to 10 million. And my buddy flipped a coin for this. I was it was the most surreal moment, one of my favorite moments of the entire games.
So Jimmy was actually upset that he had to fork over $5 million.
Oh my gosh, 100%. But also he gets over it quickly because he realizes this is going to be awesome content.
But he can't use it in the title.
Yeah, I got so upset when he said that because I'm like, that's true. Imagine putting that in the title, winning $10 million.
Oh yeah.
How more intense the game would have been with that from the beginning.
I doubt they'll do that for Beast Game Season 2.
No, I think that was a one and done. Maybe.
Hey, well, it's one of these things where John Uche was interviewing Jimmy on the BTS and it's how do you top this? And Jimmy's like, oh, we'll do it for sure. This is the thing about Jimmy is he's always going to up it one way or the other. It might not be the dollar amount. It might be something unique, but I have no doubt that Season 2 will be better than Season 1.
Yeah, I was surprised that this is his money. This isn't like he's getting, a sponsor to come in and say, hey, T-Mobile's putting up an extra $5 million. This is out of his own pocket. And so to put $5 million on a coin flip, to me, is just that's insane.
There was no T-Mobile logo on the coin.
There needed to be something on that coin as a sponsor to help. But no, this is his own money that he's putting up.
It's how committed to his craft he is. I want to create the biggest spectacle ever with the simplest thing, a coin flip. People have been flipping coins for thousands of years. And he makes it amazing.
Did he think that someone was actually going to flip the coin?
I've heard that he did not.
I assumed that no one would.
That's what I thought too.
I thought there's no way.
But this is what's beautiful is you look back to the $1 million bribe. He and Mac were beside themselves. They could not believe that no one took the $1 million bribe. And nobody did. And the flip side, they thought that no one would flip the coin, and we did. So it's I love the fact that when we can surprise someone like Jimmy, man, we're making great content.
So I'm curious, how did $10 million change the game?
For me, in my mind, I kind of go, I've thought about this, okay, I need to put money aside for my family and I need to have money to kind of invest into research for my son's condition. And $5 million, don't get me wrong, certainly helps. $10 million is totally different because it's okay, I can put money aside to make sure that my son Lucas is taken care of. I can make sure that Jack doesn't have to take care of Lucas and our parents as we get age. There's just a lot of things we can do, but we can really make a dent in research. We can really invest in some research that can really hopefully speed up this kind of quest for a cure, quest for a treatment by years.
And what about in terms of gameplay? Did people all of a sudden take it like way more seriously?
I know I did. Going into the top 6, I kind of felt like I was going into, a big football game. Like I was nervous going into it. Like we take the bus over from the city, and I remember like sitting out in front of our van, and like the production teams are now like looking at us, like they're starting to treat us differently. I had my thermals on. I go to the bathroom. I take my thermals off. I come out. I'm like, oh, it's cold. Let me put my thermals back on. I have this nervous energy. But once I got in there, I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, I can play the game fair, and I can also play the game hard. And so, like, that was my mindset, is like, be calm, kind of be focused, but play to win.
When did you realize that you were going to win? Or when did you have that feeling that's like, hey, I got this?
I felt really good after I made that first shot in the first challenge, and we had the red balls. I knew that if I made the first shot, people would think twice about shooting at me, because they kind of go, oh gosh, he's good. If I shoot at him, he can shoot at me and get me out. So after that, I felt like, okay, I made the shot. I'm going to get to the top 4. And I look around the top 4. It's Yessie, Gage, myself, and Tawana. I felt pretty darn good too. I didn't feel I was going to win until, like, once we got into the top 2 and we had a little break. They had to strike the set and build it, and I'm off kind of in this warehouse, in the middle by some pallets. It's dark. I'm kind of trying to eat a snack. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. And I go, I think I got this, and it was just more of like, it wasn't kind of arrogance. It was more of like, hey, I think I'm in a great spot to win this.
Yeah. Even the top 3, you had the opportunity to pick $1 million, guaranteed, and you didn't take it. Was there a part of you that thought, man, maybe I should just take the guarantee $1 million right now and self-eliminate?
Based on the game, no. The game was kind of, everybody in the top 50 voted kind of who they thought was most deserving to win or least deserving to win. And I felt like I made great relationships and great inroads. But I'll be honest, I didn't think it was Tawana's number in that. I thought it was Gage's.
Jimmy probably hates Gage, because Gage is single-handedly, it's his fault. Jimmy's lost $6 million.
I mean, it's crazy.
$5 million from the coin flip, $1 million from taking the bribe.
Or he loves him.
It's the most expensive, employee or person that Jimmy's ever had.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, and I love when, like, Jimmy was interviewing Gage, like, hey, what are you going to do with $10 million? He goes, oh, I'm probably going to get a conversion van and play music. He's like, well, what are you going to do with the other $9,900,000?
$90,000.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
Just a Lambo.
I know. That was good. I mean, that threw some people off in the last week. People definitely took the hook and thought he won.